timing is one of the most difficult things to get right in the DET. But don't worry, if timing's hard for you, then this is the perfect video. We're going to look at 5 DET questions where timing is super important, and I'll teach you some great strategies so that you never have to worry about time again. Let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Now, many of my DET students think they've got enough language for passing the DET, they've got enough skills, but they don't have enough time. So if that's true for you, if time is really hard for you in the DET, then this is the perfect video because we're going to be talking about all kinds of strategies, tactics, tips that you can use to make sure you use your time perfectly and you're able to finish all of your answers. Now, when we were preparing for this video, we looked at all of the different DET question types, and we've identified 5 question types where timing is really important. So, in this video, we're going to look at each of those question types. We'll talk about how much time you have. I'll give you my tips for how to organize your time, and then we'll do some practice activities together. And by the way, as you're watching this, I'd love to know which of the DET questions do you think is the hardest for you when it comes to time? Which one are you practicing and you think, oh no, I haven't got enough time, oh, it's so hard. Let me know which one that is for you in the comments. So the first one we're going to look at is read and complete. And that looks like this. It's a paragraph. It has some words missing, usually between 6 and 8 words. And you have to read through and complete that paragraph. You have to find which words are missing and type them in. Now that would probably be not too difficult if you had unlimited time. But of course, you don't have unlimited time. How long do you have for these 6 to 8 questions? You have 3 minutes. And so what you need is a strategy. You need a step-by-step approach so that you can answer that question in an organized way, not just go, this one and that one and this and this one and that one. So this is my strategy for organizing your time well in Read and Complete. First of all, give a quick scan to the whole passage. So just very quickly read through, get a general idea of what this is about. Next, you're going to look at the first word that's missing, and you're going to look at the word before that and the word after that. And then the next step, kind of connected, try to break the sentence that word is in into the different clauses, the different pieces of that sentence. So if we look at the example paragraph that we have there, we have a s yet effective way. That is a clause. Those words are connected to each other. So if we can identify that, that's much easier to work with than the whole sentence or the whole paragraph. Then you can decide what type of word you need. Do you need a noun, a verb, an adjective? For example, this one, we can look and say a s, and then yet effective way. So way is a noun, and we know that describing a noun must be an adjective. So we're looking for an adjective that starts with si, with si, and that has some kind of logical connection to the word way. And then the last 2 steps, use the letters that you've got as a clue, type what you think is the answer, and then check it, read that sentence again and see if it makes sense. So here's our first practice activity. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the timer. I want you to have a try at these 6 questions, okay? And try to follow the strategy that I've told you. We're going to put the strategy on the screen. We're going to put the paragraph and the questions on the screen, the timer as well. This is your time. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Let's quickly look at the answers before we move on to the next set of questions and tips. So we'll quickly read through it. First of all, it was a simple yet effective way. Simple was our adjective. Then we have materials like stainless steel, glass, or plastic. So we can look before and after, and we see those are two types of material, and we need another type of material. So that one is glass. The number 3 is used again and again. And then the fourth one is it reduces the need. The number 5, it helps them to drink water more regularly. So it's how they drink the water. So it's an adverb. And then finally, we have more sustainable lifestyle choices. By the way, if you are preparing for the DET and you want a complete course to help you score 120 the first time you take the test, make sure to check out our DET Complete Preparation course. The link is here under the video. The next question, where timing is really important, is speak about the photo. So let's do a quick dive into speak about the photo, shall we? So speak about the photo. There is a photo, and we're going to speak about it. So you have 20 seconds to look at the photo, get your ideas, and then you have to speak for up to 90 seconds. And we always recommend that you speak as much as possible. So aim for at least 60 seconds, hopefully maybe 70 or 80 seconds. So the key here is to make really good use of your preparation time. So you only have 20 seconds, but that is enough time to make a really good plan that's going to help you to fill your full 90 seconds. And to make your plan, I think you can use these 5 questions. And this is something that I suggest you memorize. You can practice using this, and then when you get into the real test, that list of questions will be in your head. So the first is what? So what does the image show? What can you see in general? Who are the people in that photo? You can think where has the photo been taken? Where are they? What sort of place is it? And when was the photo taken? Is it in winter, in summer, day, night? And then an interesting one is why? Why are the people in that situation? Why have maybe they've come to a place or they're doing some kind of activity? What is their reason for that? So if we take a look at our example photo again and we try to quickly answer those questions, we might say, what can we see? So we can see a boy playing with a hose pipe. When is it happening? It's happening probably in the summer, and we can guess probably in the daytime as well. And why? It could very well be to cool off because it's so hot in the summer. So it's 5 simple questions, but if you can use that 20 seconds to prepare an idea about each of those questions, and for each one you can speak for 2 or 3 sentences, that is going to do a really good job of filling the time, filling the 90 seconds. And you'll avoid those moments where you think, and the other thing is, that's all, thank you. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe because we have loads of new DET videos coming out all the time to help you improve your vocabulary, to improve your timing, to practice real DET questions. So make sure you click the link under here to subscribe. The next question where timing is very important is read, then speak. So, as always in DET, the name gives us the idea. So you're going to see a question, you'll read it, and then you'll speak. So you have 20 seconds to read the question and get some ideas. And then again, it's 90 seconds. So very similar to speak about the photo. So I would say that this is a little bit easier to prepare for than speak about the photo, because speak about the photo, you have to remember those 5 questions. I mean, they're easy to remember. It's just why, who, they're easy to remember. Trust me. But this one is easier to prepare for. Why? Because you have those bullet points, those suggestions already written out for you. So the 3 things that you have to do, you have to think of like what is the general story, the general topic that you're going to talk about. And then for each of the points, think of some kind of idea to answer that point. And then if you still have time, try to plan 1 or 2 pieces of high-level vocabulary to drop in. So let's look at that example question that we saw just before. So the question is, talk about a time you attended a useful class. So in general, we're going to think, okay, what was the class? And it might be, for example, a Life in the UK class. Then we can think each point, get an idea for it. So when and where was it? We can say it was at university before my year studying abroad. And again, as I said just before, this is so much easier to prepare for because all you need to do is to think of an answer to those questions. So the next one, what was the class about? It was about cultural differences, it was about practical tips. Then what did you learn from it? How to find a flat, how to open a bank account. And why was it useful? Because it made it easier to do those things when I moved to the UK. And you can even think of a couple of advanced words if you have time. So things like maybe enlightening and worthwhile, some higher level vocabulary. Now the next question is one where you get 30 seconds to prepare, which compared to some other questions is a little bit longer. It's not a very luxurious 5 minutes to prepare, but it's a little bit better. So which question is it where you get 30 seconds? It is, of course, speaking sample. So the good news is you get 30 seconds to prepare. The bad news is that then they ask you to speak for 3 minutes, which is a long time. Honestly, I struggle to speak for 3 minutes when I'm answering these questions. When I'm just talking my usual nonsense, I can speak for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, as long as you want. But if I have to answer a question, speaking for 3 minutes is pretty hard. So there are 3 main things that you should be including in your answer here. The first one is a personal anecdote, so like a story of yourself. Then you can give your opinion, explain your opinion in detail, and then support that by the third thing, which is examples. So give lots of examples of whatever it is that you're talking about. So let's quickly read through an example question, and then we'll see how you can organize your answer. So one question could be like this. Life is full of important moments worth celebrating. Describe a time when you celebrated a special life event, such as a birthday, graduation, or wedding. What made the occasion meaningful, and how did you feel during and after the celebration? So you could start this by giving your personal anecdote. You might say something like, well, my parents convinced me to throw a graduation party when I finally finished my master's. And then you can give background about that, like why were you doing a master's, and what was the master's in, and where were you, and all of the background details. Then you can give your opinion after a little while. You can say, I wasn't sure at first, but it felt great to be with the people who'd supported me. And you can go into more detail about that, and then you can finish with examples. So it was a chance to thank my family members and classmates, and then say, for all that they'd done for me. For example, my friend John had helped me in some kind of way. My friend Sarah had done something else for me. My mum made me lots of food, and so on and so on. So if you can use your 30 seconds preparation time and think of some ideas to talk about, and then take them, remember them when you get into actually speaking for your full 3 minutes, that's going to make things a lot easier. The final area that we have to talk about is interactive reading. And timing is important here for kind of a different reason. So before it's been like, I've only got a short time to prepare and I have to speak or write for a long time. In this, it's more that you have to be disciplined and you have to organize your time quite well, because you're going to answer 5 different types of questions and you'll have around 7 minutes to do it. But there is no strict time for each of those questions. You control when you click next. So you really have to be careful to not spend too much time on one part, because then you'll run out of time for the later questions. And this is something that takes a lot of practice. So make sure that when you are practicing for interactive reading, you think about the timing. And here is the times that we suggest you try to follow. These are kind of general. They're not absolutely exact, because every question is going to be different. And sometimes some parts will be easier for you, you'll do them quickly. Other parts you'll take longer to find the answer. But in general, let's do it like this. This is our goal. So we can start with complete the sentences, try to spend around 2 minutes on this. Then you go to complete the passage, and that's about 60 to 70 seconds. And the same for highlight the answer, 60 to 70 seconds. The same for identify the idea, and the same for title the passage. So if you can try to get 60 to 70 seconds for those last 4, and importantly, try to finish the first one in about 2 minutes, then you'll be okay. You'll have a little bit of time at the end, maybe even to check things or to feel not too rushed. Okay, so there you go. Those are 5 questions where timing is really important, and hopefully now you have a better idea of how to organize your time, how to use your time in a smart way to make sure you get the best score possible. Now, with all of these things that I've been kind of talking at you, you're probably thinking, oh, I'm sick of listening. I want to do something. Well, if you do feel like that, we have a great video for you. It's a full practice test. You can find the link here or just here under the video, and you can use all of those skills, those strategies that I've just explained to you, because all of those 5 questions we've looked at are in that full practice test. So make sure you check that out. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.